Okay. All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Could I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, is there anybody from the public that would like to make a public comment about the agenda?
I don't see any public comments.
No public comment, Glenn? Okay.
No.
All right, then, Kate, can I turn it over to you to fill in for Dr. Chong? Bring us up to date?
Yeah, I do not have a report, so I think I will send it over to Sarah. How about that? We're
Okay,
up to date.
that's fair. Thank you, though.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody, and welcome, everyone. We'll move on to the information portion of the agenda. And the first item on that section is the resolution for issuance of bond series C. So Kate will mention a little bit about that.
Yep, that one is me. So what we've got on the agenda for the board tomorrow is the actual issuance or the permission to issue Series C, as well as likely Series B, a tech, longer term tech, like we did with measure, the last bond measure that we did. So we have 105 million remaining. We do anticipate issuing the final, that full 105. And the current plan is we will split that between two series. One would be the series that would be for construction and all other expenses in the next 3 years. And then there would be a smaller, much smaller portion that would then be used to be able to extend our tech purchases out for likely another 5 to 7 years beyond that. So we're still working with bond counsel on what that will look like. But in the meantime, what we'll be asking for permission is just to go out and issue the series and the remainder of the allocations, the 410 million.
So that Kate, that'll get us through the next 7 years at least. I mean, what you said with the smaller Series D, I guess you said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it would
Okay.
be 3 years for construction because 80%, so that would be in the tax-free and 80 tax-free bonds, and then 80% has to be spent within 3 years, or you get into all the arbitrage and IRS issues. And then the other smaller series would be in taxables, and then we could take it out longer. It's what we did last time to get us through the technology upgrades until,
Right.
we're able to pass another bond.
Okay. Good.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we'll continue with updates for capital projects. But first, we will begin with an update from our purchasing department.
Hi, everyone. I'll first go through our current solicitations, each of which will be funded with Measure H funds. First, as a quick update on the ERP software system, and Kevin Snyder may elaborate, we requested a revised pricing proposal, which we received on May 27th, and the negotiation process is still in progress. Regarding the Southwest Center facility modernization, we completed the first step in the design build process. The deadline for contractors to have submitted a pre-qualification statement questionnaire, which would have made them eligible to submit a proposal for the project, was on July 11th. 5 evaluees were issued the request for a proposal on July 29th. So for step 2, these contractors are now going to be eligible to submit proposals for this project by September 1st, which has an estimated budget of $12 million. In regards to the Emeritus Hall roofing and HVAC modernization, we received 4 statements of qualifications on July 27th. And the evaluation on these is in progress, and the estimated budget is $5 million. And then next is the HVAC project at the Public Safety Training Center. Bids are due on August 4th, and the estimated budget is $340,000. And then lastly is the Towser Gym Swing Space at Annalee Village. Bids for this project are due by August 9th, and the estimated budget is $635,300. Then moving to the Board of Trustees approvals to have maintained the Busman Hall IT Phase 3 renovation project schedule, and to also meet occupancy dates for these facilities. Dr. Chong had granted an emergency approval for the project's formal bid results due to having the July board meeting canceled. So the award to DMR Builders for $522,910 will be on this month's board agenda for ratification. And then lastly, awarded contracts and bids. And this is just an update since our last meeting. The award to Kenwood Fence for the Schoen Farm fencing replacement project, which had been granted also an emergency approval by Dr. Chong in advance to protect the livestock, was ratified at our last Board of Trustees meeting in June. And that concludes my updates.
Thank you, Stephanie. Next up is Kevin Snyder with an IT update.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to thank Steph for stealing about half of my material. It's going to shorten my presentation, which I'm sure will go over well. So well played, Steph. As she'd said, the ERP, we're in scoping and price finalizing phase. We're hoping to get into our actual implementation, and we're making plans for that this fall. So we're excited to actually get this project off the ground, past purchasing and into actual implementation. That's going to be really exciting and a lot of work. The other thing I wanted to bring up today was that there is a purchase that's coming up for $1.7 million. Basically, it's a lot of the for the Lindley STEM Center, for other Measure H projects, the switches, routers, other hardware that is going to be needed for those projects. So you'll be seeing that coming up soon. It was provisionally approved by Dr. Chong, partially because not so much the money or the timing, but the way the supply chain issues are going. We're seeing up to a year to get hardware at this point. So I think it'll be sooner than that, but we really want to make sure we order the hardware as quickly as we can, A, before the prices go up, and B, to make sure that we get our hardware in time to install it in time for opening. So that concludes my report. If anybody has any questions, I'm sitting right here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And we will continue with project updates from our project managers, and we'll start with Ryan at Schoen Farm.
Good afternoon, everyone. So for the Schoen Farm AG portables, in July we had exterior painting completed, and then we also have signs going in today. So that's moving along. Painting looks great. Next project is the Schoen Farm new greenhouse. The contractor had a punch walk on 6/21/22. They're currently working on punch list items, and they have one item, the generator quick connect installation is going to take place in mid-August. And for next up is the Schoen Farm produce processing facility. Construction of the coolers was put on hold due to a conflict with the building. Our architect QKA is working on some plan changes right now.
What was the conflict?
The coolers were too tall. They hit the eaves. So the eaves on the building in the height of the coolers were overlapping one another. So we had to move the coolers away from the doorway.
Okay.
Got it.
And for the Schoen Farm site security project, the produce processing facility and pavilion where security designs were received in July. Project stakeholders are reviewing the documents right now. And for Garcia Hall renovation, in July, flooring and MEP finishes were installed and were scheduled to be substantially complete in time for fall classes. Also, Busman IT renovation, DMR Builders was a low bidder at $522,910. Purchasing is currently completing contracts and bonds, and the IT department is scheduled to move out the first week of August. Well, that's actually getting moved to third week of August.
You, Ryan, and I think that Heather actually had to run out to take care of a problem over at the field house. So I'm going to pinch it for her. For the Towser Gymnasium renovation, we completed the structural analysis, collecting information from the building in order to complete the structural analysis that DSA is requiring for the review. So that information is into the lab, and depending on lab results, we may be completely done with this structural investigation, or we may have to go back and do some more. So for now, we are complete. And then the design itself is still at DSA. We are expecting an approval from DSA on the design later this fall. We are planning to move the individuals out of Towser in January so that we can start construction in March of next year, after we received approval from DSA and also from the State Chancellor's Office, since this is a partially funded project from the state. So with that said, Annalee Village is currently out to bid, as Stephanie reported. We're expecting those bids to come in next week. And as soon as that contract gets started, the construction work is started, it does have a short construction duration. We are expecting to have it complete by December so that we can move individuals from Towser in there in January. Next is Lilly Center for STEM Education. Rhonda's actually on vacation today, so I will report for her as well. On the inside, on the interior of the building, they are continuing to install plumbing, electrical, and mechanical piping and equipment, as well as installing the wall framing on the first floor. Most of the second and third floor are already complete. On the exterior, they have completed installing the weatherproofing boards on the north and west side of the building. They already started on the south and east side, and they do expect to have that completed by the end of the month. Also, earlier, or rather last week, they lifted several amount of the mechanical equipment onto the roof. So that equipment has now been delivered and installed, and they're getting ready to start on the roofing of the building. Next up is Amy with various reports.
Good afternoon. The campus-wide security project is essentially complete, and the notice of completion is scheduled for the August Board of Trustees approval. Baker Hall Lab is completed, and the notice of completion was approved at the June Board of Trustees meeting. The foundation office building in the upper left, you'll see that the exterior weatherproofing was completed. The site contractor completed all the sub prep, and staking for the site concrete's been done, and they are actually setting forms. They started yesterday. All the rough-in interior, the MEPs and fire has been is installed, and the drywall is being installed, and actually taping started this week. The project has a 12-month timeline with a move-in date of January.
Thank you, Amy.
That's my report.
And next up is Mike.
Wait, I got a question for Amy. So, hey, Amy, on that, if you back up, can you back up one slide? I think one or two slides. Yeah, there we go. So, and I know we discussed this. Can you just bring me up to speed again with the completion of the security? That was with all the locks and everything. Could you just refresh my memory on that real quickly?
In terms of scope,
Yeah.
we have so the access hardware on all the doors, the exterior doors of the building have been installed, and staff now has cards, new access cards to get into those if they needed it. We also installed new key boxes, key management system boxes. We installed, you'll see if you are on campus, many new emergency call towers. And what am I forgetting?
Emergency.
Oh, video cameras, I think 153 new video cameras. And then we also, the ones that were able to be maintained, fixed or were out of commission, we brought them back online if we could.
Okay, and I'm trying to remember the locks or like the classroom doors, they can be locked from the inside. Is that correct? If I'm not mistaken? That's
correct. They can, and we also have emergency call buttons if an intruder comes and the staff wants to shut their door, lock their door from the inside, they just press that button.
Okay.
Right, and it also included an upgrade, a complete upgrade of all of the hidden equipment at the district police headquarters.
Okay, good. I know you've been working on that for quite a while.
All right, Mike.
Okay, hello everyone. So I'm excited to report that things are moving along well. So this image is a few weeks old, but right now, 2 weeks ago, we finished the level 4 shear walls, and we've now begun work on the 5th and final floor of our student housing building. The 5th floor slab will be poured in the coming weeks, and then the roof slab will be poured in early September, at which point we'll have a topping out event. And then as the structural work continues to go up, the MEP and other interior work follows below on the lower floors. For example, level 1, we've recently finished our non-structural framing and begun installing MEP elements and windows. And then last but not least, leasing will begin in September. So in about 4 to 6 weeks, we'll begin leasing this project, even though it's not going to be open for residents until fall of next year.
Well, Sam, what is leafing?
Leasing, so filling the units.
Oh,
So
leasing. I'm
advertising.
sorry. I thought you said something else. Never mind. Sorry. That's great.
I thought maybe since it was first time student housing, it's not a word we're used to.
Yeah.
And Mike, when the leasing office will open in September?
Yep. Yeah, it will be completed this month, but will open for all practical purposes and be staffed next month.
And that'll be for spring of 23. Is that correct? Or is it fall? Or was it fall?
Fall of 23.
Okay.
Yes, and the leasing office will be located in Plover Hall. And the developer will be managing that and running that. So it will open in September for students to be able to go in there and start looking at options and applying for leasing of the space.
Great.
Yeah, so we'll have furniture. We'll have furniture that's actually going to be used in the project will be in the leasing office. So yeah, students can touch and feel and really get a sense of what it might be to live on campus.
Okay, thank you, Mike. And last but not least, our item for your approval at the next week's meeting. Again, we have the notice of completion for the security upgrade project. We have change order number 7 for the Lindley STEM Center. That brings us to a total of 2.4%. The major item on this change order includes changing out the type of fittings that are in water piping that is at locations that are inaccessible to facilities or maintenance after the building. And this assures that it, or tries to at least assure that there won't be any leaks in those areas. At Towser Gym, we have, this is for the structural testing that I just reported on. We have one change order that included abating some lead paint that needed to be removed before they removed them and reinstalled some plates and screws. That change order, this is a pretty small contract, was takes it to 9.55%. And this should be the only change order unless we have some bad lab results that require us to go back and do additional testing. At Garcia Hall, we have change order number 7. This change order, again, if you may recall, we are over the 10%. So we have a resolution 22-22, asking you to approve this change order that will take us to a total of 18.55% of change orders. And again, this change order will include adding drywall to the corridors, which we originally were not removing, but we did have to remove because of asbestos in the walls that we had to abate. For the same reason, we had to add interior window trims to all the existing windows. We had to remove the previous because of the abatement required. And then we also had to reroute a domestic water supply in the building. The next item is change order 3 as shown form, resolution 21-22 for the ACT portables. This is the first resolution for this project. This change order takes us over the 10% to 12.87%. And the major change orders included here are underfloor venting that needed to be added to the portables. And then we also electrified the exterior doors in order to upgrade the security on the project. These buildings previously at Santa Rosa campus, and they did not have the electrification of the doors. So that's something that we added. The greenhouse, we have a change order number 3 that just added some additional irrigation to the building. This takes our total change orders to 2.97%. We are complete with the original contract of the produce processing facility. So we're asking for notice of completion approval on this project. Keeping in mind that the installation of the coolers is a completely separate project. That's the one that Ryan just reported on earlier. For the student housing project, we have amendment number 2 for Miller Pacific Engineering Group. This is our geotechnical consultant. And this amendment is for them to do the DSA required testing during construction. The next 3 items are ratifications. These were emergency approvals by Dr. Chong during the month of July. The first is a notice of completion for the Lunabis HVAC project. The issuance of the contract for Busman Hall IT renovation to DMR Builders. And then also we had the yearly 5-year capital outlay plan for the next 5 years, 24-28. That was due to the State Chancellor's office actually yesterday on August 1st. So we needed it approved before we can submit it. So we did make that submission successfully yesterday. And so we're asking you to ratify that approval at next week's board meeting. That does conclude our report unless you have any questions.
Yeah, I got one. So Seraphin, help me out here. So on this number 11, okay, so that's for the next 5-year capital outlay. And this goes to, I guess, would be part Kate. So you said with the issue of the new bond, we're going to have that 100 and how many million, I want to say, plus the extra. how far does this carry us out now? As far as with all the projects we have on the books, are we gonna be able to do any other projects, or is that pretty much gonna use everything up?
The 105 will use it all. So this next issuance of 105 million will complete all of the projects that are currently on the list. Keeping in mind that there's some of that money that's allocated to IT equipment.
Got it.
Of what's included in this report, the 155 million, it also includes projects like that are still active, like the STEM project, the Towser project, the Public Safety Training Center. So even though we've already spent some of the money from, on for example, the Lindley STEM project, we've already spent some of that money from Series B, but we will need some of it from Series C to complete the expenditures. So there's an overlap. In the 155, we are covering projects that are included in Series B and also Series C.
Well, that's what I figured. So that's an overlap. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then to my other question though, so we're not going to be able, I mean, we're tapped out now, with the Roseland project and all that. So we're pretty much tapped out now for anything new. That's what I'm understanding?
That is correct. At the next board meeting, I will be presenting an update of the final Series C projects. So
Okay.
projects will include some of the ones that are currently active, like Towser and STEM. We also add the Southwest Center to that, and there's a few other projects we haven't started that are planned to be part of that Series C.
Okay, good. Yeah, it'd be good if we could know that.
Yep. Any other questions?
I'm good.
Me too.
Okay. Any questions from anybody else before we close the meeting? Glenn, is any public comments?
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye, you too.
Thank you.
Okay.